Sharronda Williams, and this is In Conversation presented by the Critics' Choice Association. I'm here with the Teyana Taylor, co-star of the Warner Brothers film One Battle After Another. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just admiring your beautiful shirt today. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I thank you. Thank you. Should be coming your way very soon. You have nothing to worry about.
I can't wait. It's so beautiful. Y'all should just sell it, okay?
I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it.
Okay, I believe in you, okay?
I think that like the mysteriousness in it make y'all want it even more, you know? When's it
I
coming?
think
When's it coming?
I think that's what it is. I think you own to something. That's why you're a marketing genius, all right? I love how in this film, Perfidia, she's complicated, selfish, wounded, and she's in survival mode when we first meet her. But also she's deeply human. And I want to know for you, like, what did it take for you to hold all of those contradictions at once and still play her with a human truth to it instead of judgment?
Mm. I mean, I don't there's no real way to to judge humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like she's so flawed and she's so her, you know? And even though we don't necessarily agree with everything that she does, I think we can all respect that she's unapologetically herself. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have this soft spot for her because we do see her in survival mode. We do see her feel unheard. We see her feel and go through a lot of things, you know? So I think that, it's really her character is really important because her character also anchors the movie. It sets the tone for how the next 2 hours is gonna go, and without her flaws, we wouldn't be able to rise Willa above to go through her battles, while my battles haunt her and her go through those battles and make it through, which is the reason why that note at the end is so important, Do you have love? Are you happy? Are you trying to change the world like I did? We failed, but I know you will not. That is so important. And I think that even in that moment, Perfidia asking so many questions, I think she wanted somebody to ask her. She asked about so many things that I think she wanted, you know. But I feel like she was left alone a lot. She was alone and it made her selfish. The results of a lot of the decisions that she made has been from feeling like she's all she got.
But if you say Bob is the person who literally lights the fuse, I think Perfidia is the person who lights this emotional fuse that lights the entire world. Her choices ripple across different generations. And I really want you to talk about the emotional anchor of this character and really the choices that you had to never make her a caricature, but like to play her as a full-fledged woman who's trying to survive in this world.
This is a new consciousness.
New consciousness.
Yeah. I'm not your other buddy. I'm not your mother. You want your power over me the same reason you want your power over the world? You and your crumbling male ego will never do this revolution like me.
Honestly, I think it was really dope to play a character so raw and so human and so flawed in a world where us as Black women are forced to be strong, forced to show up for everyone, forced to, it's okay, forced to shut up, forced to sit down, forced to shrink, forced to, you get what I'm saying? And I think when you see Perfidia, she wasn't rolling with none of that shit. And it didn't matter how it made her look. It didn't matter how it made you feel. You get what I'm saying? She wasn't going to shrink for anyone. She was not going to quiet down for anyone. She was not going to sit down for anyone. And even if that meant the product that, of events that she created. So yes, she was selfish, but I think literally she was selfish and it backfired. Mentally and emotionally, um we see what a version of a woman showing up for herself looks like. No, and nothing can get in the way of that, you know. But also, it felt really good to also see the vulnerable side of that. You know, one thing that always stick with me is when she was dealing with that postpartum depression, and we see Bob stand at that door. Save me the first time. Hear me the first time. Push through the first time. You get what I'm saying? Because you see that. You see him ignore that cry out loud. You see him ignore that cry for help. And then the very next thing you see is her walking out, still greedy for the power and greedy for what she stands for, but also a woman that is eager to being even more greedy because she doesn't feel seen and she doesn't feel heard. And I do feel like if people stepped in sooner and didn't really ignore her mental health, that things could have went differently. But that's not what we wanted for this movie. You get what I'm saying? Like, we needed her to fall, like I said, to bring the newer generation up and see how they navigate this thing that we call life.
I mean, also too, I love you've always been a visionary on your own. You've been a director. You do all of these beautiful creative things, in your own career. But it has to be so rewarding to work with somebody like Paul Thomas Anderson and to have him say, "I just let her cut loose and do what she needed to do because I trusted her vision." I want to know, what was that working relationship, that collaboration? What did that look like with Paul Thomas Anderson?
Oh my God, it's something that just can't be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? I'm really like, okay. Like, I want to be in every single movie that Paul does. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to be like, how you have like that actor that mesh really well with this director and they do so many things together. Because it's like, at this point, I'm spoiled to have that kind of leadership and have that kind of master class. Is like, where do you go next? You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you go next? It's so safe. And I have become a warrior of PTA. You get what I'm saying? I'm his warrior. I'm his soldier. And you go to war for a person like that when when the leadership is gentle, when the leadership is safe, when the leadership is pushing you to be your best self. When your leader is in a battlefield with you, that makes you want to go even harder. You get what I'm saying? Like, just even working with him, even with myself preparing, you know, to direct my first feature film, what he's taught me as a director and his leadership. And it's so important in how he collaborates and how selfless he is and how he navigates a set and allow everybody to play and build and really coordinate the layers of the characters that we're playing. Like, it's whoever is after him is like, there's just such big shoes to feel, to feel. It's just like, yeah, he's the GOAT. He the GOAT.
I love it. I want to know, if we look at Perfidia building the way or paving the way for someone like Willa to come to fruition, I want to know what that relationship looked behind the scenes. This is Chase's first film, first feature film. Like, what did that mentorship look like between the two of you while doing the film as well, especially since you don't get to share scenes with one another?
Exactly. I mean, it was amazing. We didn't really get to love on each other until later on. Paul actually purposely had us not be able to see each other, which made her wonder, like, what is she like? How is she? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, the real wonders on and off screen, which I thought was really, really dope. And then I think for me, like, even with the last letter, with the scene at the end, at that point I had met her and I was able to love on her. But then just that quickly she was snatched away from me and I hadn't seen her. So within writing that letter, the wonder of, are you happy? Where are you? Like, just, and that's the mother in me, and I think Paul is so genius for it because he don't say, okay, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna make sure that y'all only see each other for 5 minutes because I need y'all to miss each other or wonder about each other. Like, no, that's not that. He just kind of like sets it up that way. I think it's just so genius to me.
But also too, you're also commanding this presence, like going toe to toe with someone like Leo, also too with Shine. Like, you command such a presence, and there's such a just a stark difference between working with both of these different characters. I want to know, what was that experience like establishing what these relationships look like on screen with them?
Honestly, it was amazing because it was really just a lot of just us being present for one another. I think it's so important, especially, in this business where you work with a lot of legends and, some people are worried about themselves. Like I've never experienced it before, but I'm even walking on a set and like seeing Sean Penn in character, I didn't even want to bother him. That's that energy that's like, this guy's a legend. This is Sean Penn or this is Leo. I don't even want to. But then when you see how warm they are and how supportive they are and how they're like pushing the next generation up, and I think all of us understand that we're here to make an amazing movie. So there's no pride, there's no ego. And that right there definitely pushes you to be the best version of yourself and want to make them proud. These are people that I look up to and I admire and that I grew up watching. So it's just kind of like being able to work with Leo and Sean and everybody, it really made me want to go harder and make them proud. Like, and again, be present for um my scene partners. I feel like that was very important. So whether I was nervous, it didn't matter. The moment they yell action, it's time to go. They blow that whistle, game on. They hit the trigger, it's time to run. You get what I'm saying? So it's like that's what it was. He yelled action, is go time. It's go time. I got people to make proud. I got PTA to make proud. I got my scene partners to make proud, people to show up for.
But you have, I think what you do, you have such a presence on the screen. You have such a short amount of time to really make your presence be known throughout the course of the rest of the film without you being there. I want to know, what was those conversations like with PTA and really trying to figure out, this person causes all of these ripple effects in other people's lives, but you only get a short amount of time to spend with her. What was the conversation like making her impression last throughout the film?
I think, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier in regards to Perfidia kind of anchoring and setting the tone for the rest of the movie. We knew what the goal was. We knew what needed to happen for Willa. You know what I'm saying? We knew what needed to happen for Bob. And so it's kind of like, okay, cool. Like, how do we stay magnetic? How do we haunt you guys? Like, how do Perfidia haunt you guys for the rest of the movie? And I think that even though it was a short amount of time, it's almost like we properly used every square foot of the place. Like you ever go and see a place and be like, oh, I don't like the way they use the square footage. Like, why is this unnecessary wall here? It's just like we just really utilized every square foot of the place, but in the perfect way to where everything just flows. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you need that space. You need that big living room and that nice kitchen to be like, okay, cool. Yeah, the bedrooms is cool, everything is cool, but that kitchen, I feel like I'm the kitchen. I'm the real good kitchen in the house. You know what I'm saying? Or that real good living room, or that real good view. Like it's just those certain things in the house that you just never forget, no matter how beautiful the bedroom is, no matter how beautiful the bathrooms are upstairs. You want to either be in that kitchen or you want to be in that living room. And I feel like that's what Perfidia is. You know what I'm saying? Like she is that place, that safe place that's just like, yeah, like I will never forget that. When I'm hungry, I'm going to the kitchen. I love the fact that we let people hungry for Perfidia. And I love the fact that, she when we do get that little piece of her back, it's just her voice and how it fills up the room and hearing her at her most vulnerable state, I think make you miss her even more.
Look, Perfidia was cool. How she walked, how she carried herself when she just came on frame. I was like, that's a bad woman right there.
Thank you
Look,
so
I just
much.
want to thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. Thank you for this amazing performance, and I'm just wishing you nothing but the best. I hope you have the most amazing day ever.